Welcome to e-Niro Diaries on Sunday the 8th of August. We are setting off to the Auvergne, which is about 320 kilometres, so getting on for 200 miles. Fully charged overnight. The guessometer says 545 kilometres range, probably a bit optimistic. The first sort of 100 kilometres or so are on A roads, or in the UK you call A roads, no motorways, but then we get onto some autoroutes. And so having had the car serviced on Monday, I asked about this Kia Charge, which I've read about is a thing they launched last year, and I've never bothered with it. So there it is. You can see that in the sunshine. Yeah, there it is. We're going to try using that, and also ChargeMap have updated their maps recently, and what they're suggesting en route is that if we leave with 100% charge and we want to arrive still with 20%, then they're recommending a stop, and a stop for like 15 minutes or something. So it's getting maybe not quite as good as Tesla, but you can certainly with this new ChargeMap on the mobile phone. So interesting that the application hasn't been upgraded for desktop, so which is really confusing. I like to do sort of route planning before we leave, and sort of run it through on the laptop, but the app doesn't work the same on the laptop as it does on the phone. Anyway, we'll see how we go. Where we're going is supposed to have, the hotel's supposed to have a 7 kilowatt charger there, so I mean in theory we should be able to drive all the way there, plug in while we're there, and drive all the way back and not have to use public charging at all, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, this is one area where the UK could really learn something from not just France, but I think all the continental European countries. Along the motorways, they don't just have service stations with fuel and eating and all of that stuff. They have these, in France they call them airs, and this is acres and acres of space, lots of parking places, very nicely treed, grass and hedges are all kept nicely cut, picnic tables, and this is a busy time of year because obviously it's high summer, but it's a Sunday, so there's no trucks on the road, which is great. So it's a good day to be travelling. So we've done 137 kilometres. We've got 377 of range left, so realistically the range was never what we expected when we left. We're doing 14 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometres, and now it's motorway and climbing, so we should be able to get there without needing to recharge again, but we'll keep our options open anyway. So we have arrived in the wonderful Auvergne. The little town we're staying in has a festival today, so the whole place is closed. So we can't actually get to the hotel for another couple of hours. So just to recap then, we started with a range of 454 kilometres. We've done 314 getting here, and we're showing a range left of 127. and 29% battery remaining, having started fully charged. So the real range going on the motorways, and it was mostly climbing because it's pretty high here where we are. It's sort of 440 kilometres then, and 15 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometre. So we started off, the first 100 kilometres was very efficient. There's a spider going in front of, look at that spider, he's I don't know, we've just bought a spider all the way from home. That's interesting. Anyway, so that's yeah, the first 100 kilometres were very efficient. We were doing about 12 kilometres per 12 kilowatts per 100 kilometres, and now it's about 15 with the motorway driving and the climbing. Anyway, gonna have a look round now. So here we are at the hotel, and as they said, there is a charging point just behind the back of the hotel. So we'll be using this, and hopefully it'll work. And we just happened to arrive on the day of the festival of Saint-Nectaire, which is all about cheese, obviously. So just checking out of this little hotel, which conveniently has an electric charging post just behind it. Had a great time here in the Auvergne, and charged back up to 100% again, showing a range of 549 kilometres. Well, we're soon going to bash that down as we're heading onto the motorway, and it's going to hit 32, 33 degrees today. So let's see how efficient it is on the way home with the air conditioning working hard. So Mrs. e-Niro driving. So what do you think of a few days hiking in the Auvergne?
Auvergne, spectacular.
Spectacular.
The little hikes are steep.
Very steep.
And being so high, they are really breathless.
Yeah. So left with showing a range of 549. It's 29 degrees. Air conditioning is working hard. We've done 135 kilometres. Still showing a range of 392. We're being helped by the fact that coming out of the Auvergne, it's sort of like all downhill, although we're going uphill at the moment towards Limoges. This is the north-south A20 between Toulouse and Limoges. we only go part of the way on this before we start heading west again. But when we started heading west out of the Auvergne, we saw that the elevation of the autoroute is over 800 meters, so it's been steadily dropping down. So basically it was coming uphill all the way, and even though we're doing 100, 110, sometimes 115 kilometers an hour, we're still getting 13.2 kilowatt hours, 100 kilometers.
It's because I'm driving like a vicar's wife.
Because she's driving like a vicar's wife. Well, you're not going that much slower than me. I was doing about 112, 114, you're doing 105. But it's busier. This is a busier road. I mean, coming out of the Auvergne is just empty, beautiful, smooth motorway, no traffic really. So we are 61 kilometres south of Limoges. So we're back home, and we've done 318 kilometres, and we're still showing 206 of range. It's 30 degrees, the air conditioning's been on pretty much, well, all the way home, and of that 318 kilometres, 230 of it was on auto route, so we weren't hanging around. It's taken us 4.5 hours to get back to the Auvergne, including a 20-minute stop to attend to the human needs, not the car. The car is still showing 41% battery. So that was obviously a camera operator error. That was a couple of weeks ago. Same shirt though, but I have washed it a few times. So just to go through the stats on the vacation, we did 902 kilometres over the 4 days. We still had 206 showing on the gasometer when we got back. Going to the Auvergne, we used 15 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometre, and coming back only 12 and a half. Now it was a much hotter day coming back, so we had the air conditioning was working harder, but it's just you're constantly going downhill. I mean, where we live here is about, I don't know, 50 meters above sea level, about 150 feet. We are 80 miles away from the Atlantic Ocean here. Should be safe in global warming terms. Still, this could be a beachfront property. Who knows? Sorry, bad thought there. But if you go to the Auvergne, you're at 800 meters, even on the flat, and then the Puy de Dôme and the Puy de Sancy and those peaks go up to about just short of 2,000 meters. In terms of costs, I completely messed up when we arrived at the hotel because I plugged in and I thought, we'll only go to 70%. We were at 29%. Just take it to 70 and that'll do us for a few days running around locally. And I didn't realise that that it was actually charging for occupation. And we went to bed and left it plugged in, and it was plugged in for 15 and a half hours, and I got charged €23.53 for 30 kilowatts. Now, that's 78 euro cents a kilowatt hour, which sounds horrendous, but actually it's about the same as what you pay on an Ionity charger over here. So in fact, it's 79 here, and we found that out last year when we went to south of France. But taking away my stupid error, the rest of the power we put into the car while we were away cost us 35 cents. So we averaged at 50 euro cents for 82.7 kilowatt hours, and spent €41.90, which, okay, it sounds like a lot, but even, doing that distance in a car, in an efficient car, that would do, say, 50 miles to the gallon, I'd have still have spent 75 to 80 euros on fuel. So it was, and of course, it's just much nicer to drive. I mean, we were doing lots of climbs and lots of descents, and it's just effortless in the car. And even coming down some quite steep slopes, you can control it entirely with the regen. I really didn't need to use the brakes at all. So that was the journey. As I say, it just shows that real world ranges of around 300 miles, certainly in the summer on a long journey, are quite possible with this e-Niro. So anyway, if you have enjoyed this, please click a like and even better, subscribe. I still don't have access to my original website, which was YouTube site, which was e-Niro Diaries. So this is e-Niro Diaries Encore. So I really appreciate people who've come across and taken a look at what we're doing with the car. Thanks very much. See you again soon. Bye.